Hi everybody, it's Michelle. I just wanted to do this video on how I make the cat shelters for the ferals that come to our house. And I thought that I would do it showing you kind of step by step how I put them together in case you're interested in making some. If you have ferals that come in your area, I know there's a lot of people who have ferals coming in their area, and the problem is not getting any better. And all you can do is kind of live with them and kind of try to help them. Maybe participate in TNR, trap, neuter, release. Yeah, it's a little bit of an expense to you to do that, but it only cost me $20 or $25 to get Shadow spayed, and that prevented the problems we were having here with her bringing kittens to our shed and stuff. So these are the shelters that we make. Well, this isn't the shelter yet. I want to show you how to make it. So I am not fit to be on camera with my face right now, so I'm going to try to avoid getting in the shot. But I wanted to go ahead and make this video, and it might have to be in two parts. It will have to be in two parts because I don't know how to edit videos. I don't know how to splice two videos together. And this, in order for me to show you the whole process, I have to do two videos because it'll take a while, and I don't want to make an hour-long video. I have to make this like a half an hour or less. So to begin with, what I use is my husband works in a warehouse, and they get these boxes. If you can see that, it is an insulated shipping container box, and they have things in their warehouse that has to be temperature controlled and has to be a certain temperature when it's being shipped. In the trucks and stuff. So they have these, and what it is it has this really thick styrofoam insert in it. You can see how thick that is. I measured it. It's 2 inches thick. Each piece is 2 inches thick. This is the top, and then it has the 4 walls in it, and then the bottom, a bottom piece. And it comes with like this plastic banding, like you would see any kind of like package that is like shipped with the plastic band that they put around it. I just cut that off. I've taken this one out already, and I cut that band off. But they come with these little boxes. This one comes with this little box inside with bubble wrap, and I don't use this. Cats don't like bubble wrap. That's a way you can keep them off your counters if you have an inside cat. And I've heard that this can deter cats from getting up on counters and stuff. Don't really know if it works. But anyway, I just take that out of there and set it aside. These boxes are nice for like little Christmas gifts. So I just keep those. And the bubble wrap sometimes comes in handy if I'm shipping something out or something. So anyway, what I do is I just take all these pieces out. There's 2 like shorter sides, and the top, of course, and then 2 wider sides, and then the bottom. Just take the bottom out. And this project requires 2 of these boxes with the styrofoam, but not 2 of the actual boxes. You're only going to use this one. At least I do. That's how I do mine. So I'm going to set the box aside for now. And what you want to do is you want to take the two pieces together. You put the bottom on, and you just put these together. You just line them up. And actually I'm going to flip that around because, as you can see right there, there's little notches. Some of them have like little notches, and I don't want that to be on the inside. It's from the plastic banding that comes on it, and I want that to be on the outside. So, because I don't want that to be against where the cats, I don't know, I just like having it on the outside where they're not going to be in. So I put these here, and just, you just put it together like as if it would be in the box. Put that there, which I'm not making it match up, and I don't know why. I think I have the wrong side or something. Just right there. Why is this not matching up? There we go. These two. These two. And, oops. Obviously that's the bottom. Okay. Gosh, I have a rough time with this one. Alright, sorry about that. It's usually pretty easy, and I don't know why I'm having such a difficult time. But I'm going to put it like that, if I could ever get it to stay up. And there. Put them aside, put them like that, all together. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to match the edges up. And you're going to tape the corners. You could use some kind of sealant, because I've heard of people using like some kind of sealant like you would use for like to put insulation together and stuff. But I like using tape. And so what I do, and this is a very amateur video, and I'm sorry, and I'm probably going to get tons of thumbs down, but you know, I'm doing the best I can. Just wanted to show it, just in case anybody was interested in how I make these. Because I know when I went online to research how to make these, there were a couple different ways. Like some people make them out of those plastic storage bins. Some people make them out of styrofoam ice chests. You can make them out of, you know, a couple different ways. You just got to choose which way you want to do, and, you know, which might be, like, best for your budget and whatever. So I take and just tape this way to start. I just kind of even them up, make sure it's nice and even there. As even as I can. Doesn't have to be perfectly even, but you know, you want to make it as even as you can. And then you take a pair of scissors, just, you know, you just need scissors, and just cut them, or a razor blade, or whatever you want to use. I just start mine out like this. That nice and even. And again, if I could edit this, I would forward through this part and everything, but you know, I can't, so just bear with me. So I put that like that, just to get it, you know, together enough where I can manipulate it around, you know, so that I can get the other sides taped. So I want to tape that together like that. See if I can get that one. There we go. I'm just gonna. There we go. Oops. Bring that one up again because it moved when I went to put the other side down. Okay, there we go. Put that like that. Turn around. Whoops. Turn around. Because my carpet is uneven and I want to make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, so put it there, and of course I can't find the end of the tape. So here we go. Just, you know, tape off 4 ends at first. That's how I do it. Get my walls put together a little bit. And these are not always perfectly even anyway, the sides and the bottoms and tops. So it doesn't, like I said, have to be like perfectly 100% even. You just don't want there to be any air anywhere like cracks or anything where the air is going to get through to it and cause it to be ineffective as far as like keeping the cats warm. So that's that one. And now you're going to use, like I said, 2 of these inserts these styrofoam inserts. You're not going to use the 2 boxes. I mean, you can if you want, but then it's going to be, there's going to be like an air pocket at the end, and I don't want that. You'll see what I mean when I get this, start getting it put together really well. Okay, so I have my basic, I have my basic shape here, okay? So you can see I have all the 4 sides together. So now I'm going to kind of reinforce that a little bit, because I don't want it to be, I could put it in the box like that, but I like to make mine pretty sturdy, because you got to remember that the cats are, and I start here and just kind of like overlap it a little bit, and you'll see that I cut this with a razor blade then, because I don't want the fur to like stick or anything like that. So I'm gonna, but you just, what your goal is to just get all the cracks covered, because, you know, there's cracks here and along the edges, and you know, you want every seam to be covered. You don't want any seams exposed, because you don't want any of the air. You want this to be airtight. So, and I take it down to about like here. I don't know if you can see that. I take it down to about like this far, and I just cut it right there, because then I go with a razor blade and cut across here and tuck that in, because that helps to make sure that it's gonna like stay on there. This tape is pretty good. I've used this tape for my other ones, and I've had my other shelters for, this is my 2nd year that we've been using them out there, and they've held up very nicely. I mean, the cats go in them all the time, and there's at least 2 cats that use these all the time, and they really like them. They keep them warm. I'm just going to continue doing this. I wish I could fast forward through. I'm sorry. You want to make sure you get it, you know, you push down on the tape and, you know, get it really tight so that, you know, it sticks together and doesn't come up, because these are going to be out in the weather. You got to remember, these are going to be out in the cold. And what I'm going to do with those now is I'm going to just slit this here, and I'm going to just tuck that in like that. And I don't want anything coming down and hanging down so that they can get their fur stuck on it either, you know, because I don't want them to, you know, this is to help them not be in pain. So do the same with this one. I want their fur to stick, so I'm just going to tuck that in there and make sure there's no edges coming up that they can get stuck on. And if there is, you can always take a piece of tape and just run it along here and fold it down and tuck it under, just like I did these. So that's those 2. These two pieces. And they do sell this styrofoam, I believe, at places like, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they sell it at like Home Depot, that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure they sell like this kind of thing for like insulation and, you know, just people who want to buy like styrofoam for whatever you want to buy styrofoam for. So I'm going to do the other side. Put it over here. I'm going to take this down. Gosh. Down here. Down here. Make sure to pull it tight so it stays. The first time I did one of these, I tried to use some kind of duct tape, and for whatever reason, it just would not stick. I don't know if it was an off-brand duct tape. I don't think it was duct tape. It was that kind of tape, like duct tape. But it just was not sticking. So I started using this, and it really seemed to work. This is really clingy. This tape is the same tape that I actually made the kitten's shelter with outside in our carport. We had this really heavy corrugated cardboard that we set up, and I actually used this tape Sorry for the sniffing. I used this tape for putting the pieces of corrugated cardboard together, and it held up really, really good. Okay, I'm gonna just let those, like I did the other ones, tuck them in. And then the other side. There's really no right or wrong way to make one of these shelters. You can tweak it to do it however you want it. This is just the way that I did it. Just kind of put it together and liked how it went together. So it seemed to be nice and sturdy, and get that tape off of my hand. And that's how this is the design I went with. Okay, so I've got my cube together. All right, now I'm going to put my one base part on. Now I'm not, sometimes you gotta, there we go, that's fitting better. Okay, I'm gonna first start by, this tape. First I'm gonna start by just kind of hinging it together a little bit, just to keep it in place, because I want to be able to move it around and adjust it as I need to. So I'm just gonna run a piece there, and then I'm gonna continue doing that around on each part, sort of like a hinge. Just smooth it down, you know, as you go. There. That's why I like doing it this way, because then I can kind of push it and do whatever. Then when I am done with those, I go all the way around it, and it makes it nice and even. So there, I need to push on that a little bit. Okay, so continue putting these in. It would help if I had the blade out. I have to be careful, because when I was making the kitten shelter the one time, I was ticked off about something. I think the one part was having problems with getting to match up, and I went like this with the blade really hard, and I ended up cutting my thumb really deep. So I am very careful from now on. Shouldn't really use a razor blade, I guess, if you're ticked off. Oh. I'll get this. I hate when it does that. Okay. Like that. And put that last one on there. Okay, and now I'm going to go all the way around the edge of the seams here. So, let me see here. Start here. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly. It don't have to be perfect. As long as you get the seams covered, that's your main goal. It's probably very loud. Sorry about that. Pull it tight. There's going to be some creases in there, but that's okay. As long as you've got those seams covered. Said, just smooth out the tape. Make sure you got it on there nice and tight. And then, so that's the one cube. Okay, I've got all the seams covered. got it all put together. I don't have the bottom on, and I don't want to put the bottom on yet because you'll see why. You don't, one of these you don't put the bottom on, or the top, or whatever you want to call it. But what I'm going to do with this now is I actually, let me move my stuff off of here real quick. I actually have the other cube that I need. I made it earlier so that I wouldn't have to sit here and make two of them and make this any longer than it's going to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to put this down in the box. Okay, put your one cube. Obviously you want the bottom on the bottom. See, my hand's going inside. There's the bottom. You put the bottom down in the bottom. You put the bottom down into the box. Push it down in there. It comes up about like this far. There's about probably like 2.5, 3 inches at the top. So now I'm going to set that one aside. And what you're going to do is, since you once you have the second one done, you're going to take one of the tops, and this also has the bottom but no top. See? But what you're going to do with this one is you are going to put the top on. Okay, you're going to do it just like you did the bottom. You're going to tape it, you know, the little hinges, and then around the side for the seams and stuff. And then what's going to happen is you're going to take a tape measure. This is just about 16 inches square, okay? So I want my hole, my opening, this is going to be my opening. Like, I'm going to have this piece on, and I'm going to tape it. But I'm not going to tape it yet, because what I'm going to do first is cut a hole for the cats to go in. And I want my opening to only be 6 inches by 6 inches. Trust me, they like it like that. They don't like it any bigger than that. If it's too big, they're not going to go in it. They can easily squeeze in there, and you might think, oh my gosh, that's too small. Actually, if I made it smaller, they would probably still go in it. And I've got some big cats that come here. Oreo and King are huge. So, and they both, King's always in the one beside the house. So, and Oreo goes inside the shed most of the time, but he goes in the box too. But since this is 16, and I want to put my hole, my opening, doorway, if you will, into the sort of middle of this, I'm going to subtract 6 from 16, and I'm going to get 10, so I'm going to move in 5. There we go. Nope, that's not. I can't use that. Anyway, 5 in and 5 in, and that's going to be the 10, and then there'll be 6 in between here. But I don't make it, so I make it perfectly even, not, you know, I make it pretty even from side to side. When this is sitting up, pretend this is sitting like this, and this is how the cats go in it. I'm going to make it even here and here, but I'm going to make it more toward the bottom so that they don't have to step up in it as much. So you only want to go a couple inches up so that they have more of a ceiling than they do. But you don't want to make it so low that air will just go rushing through there, because, you know, I'll have to go measure mine. I don't remember what the measurement is that I made it from the ground up, the hole, but I will go do that and tell you on my next part of this video. But I'm going to go ahead and end this for now, and I'm going to take and carve my hole in my opening, in my, carve the opening, you know, cut that out. And it's very thick, like I said, so it's going to take some doing. So what I do is I just measure and mark my points, and then I cut around there as best I can. It's going to be kind of rough because this is hard to cut through, and you're not going to get it perfectly even. You might get it a little bit rougher on one side than the other, but that's okay, because what I do is I take tape and I wrap it around there then to make it so that it's not so jaggy and it's not going to crumble. And then what I do is, what the final thing will be, is we will put this one on down in there once we have the hole and have this taped and everything. And we'll put it on top of this one. And then I put the flaps up. I'll show you that on the second video though. So I'm going to end this part for now. And if you are interested in seeing the end result, then I will show you what I do for the second part. But see you in a little bit. Okay, this is part 2 of how to put these feral shelters together. As you can see, I've already done, I showed you in the last video that I had my second cube done. However, I had the lid already hinged on. I don't know what I was thinking, because I told you that you don't hinge the lid until you cut this out, this opening. So I undid that and I cut the opening. I don't have any kind of power tool to cut the opening, so I just use that big sharp knife. I go around it with, what I do is I just measure, I measure 3 inches, I make it 3 inches from the ground, from where it's going to be on the ground. Well, I don't put them on the ground, I put them up on bricks or a pallet or something, so they're not right on the cold ground. But anyway, 3 inches from the bottom of the box, and then I measure in 5 inches on each side, so it's going to be 6 inches, the opening, 6 inches square, and of course you have a little more up at the top, because you're only going out 3 inches from the bottom. To make it any more than that, the cat would have to like step up in too far. I mean, they are capable of doing that, but I try to make it a little easier for them. So I made the 6-inch opening and I taped it. As you can see, I taped it around, because when you cut this, it gets all like jaggedy and crumbly, and you know, the styrofoam wants to crumble, and if you left it like that, it would just keep on crumbling, and you know, that wouldn't be good. So I tape it around here in the inside of the opening. You can see kind of up here where I did that, and I just like tape it like from here over around the corner, you know, after I do the lid, after I do the hole. And then to reinforce it, I just run tape down along each side, both inside and outside. And I do that, like, as I said, before I attached it to this other cube. So once I do the opening, I attach it to the cube, just like I did the other cube, the other lid on the other cube, the end, the bottom. And then I taped both cubes then together. So you can see where I went around the seams here with the tape and taped the 2 cubes together. So now what you're left with is this shelter, inside of this shelter, and I say inside because we're going to put it in the box, that is just about 34 inches long, 16 wide, and 16 high. Okay, so they've got a pretty good area to be in and turn around, and for a cat, that's, you know, they like it like that. They like it where it's roomy enough for them to fit, but not so roomy that they feel like they're not protected. They like that closeness. So, and when you put your hand in here, you can actually feel how it is warm. If you put your hand down there on the on the bottom or whatever, you can feel that that's going to keep their body heat in there. When they go in there, their body heat, you know, that's what makes this warm for them, because their body heat makes it warm inside of there, and then they stay warm. But I don't, like I said, I don't let it just like that. I put straw inside. You don't use hay, because hay is supposed to draw moisture. So I use straw. And like I said before, to be very careful. I guess I don't really have to tell you this, but use your common sense and be very careful when you're cutting this, because let me show you the thickness of this again. There's the piece that I cut, and like you can see, it's very thick. You know, and like I said, it's 2 inches, and you are going to have parts around here where maybe a little chunk will come out when you have cut it. If you have some kind of power tool, that would be awesome. I don't, so I just use the knife. But don't worry about getting this perfectly even, you know, or like perfectly square. even if it's like from one, like sits over here more on one side than the other, the opening, that's fine. The cats don't care. They just want a nice warm place to stay. So, you know, just as long as the structure is nice and well put together, you know, and the integrity of it is not compromised by the way that you're cutting it. Because I have a couple pieces here that, like, there's a chunk back here that, a little piece of styrofoam, like this size, came off. And, you know, that's fine, because it's not going to make any difference. You still have 2-inch walls. So, what the next part is, and this, I lied, this is going to be a 3-part video type thing, because, whoops, the first part was just to show you how to put the walls and stuff together. This part is to show you how I did that, and also how to show you what I do next. But the third part I have to do, and it's going to take me too long, so I'm going to just do it and then show you the end result. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the box that we started with, and we're going to take these 2 cubes that are together, we're going to place them down in that box. Okay? They're sitting down in there. Wish you could see that a little better, but that's the best I can do for right now. And we're going to, maybe I can angle that up a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that won't fall. What you're going to do next is you're going to take your flaps of the box and you're going to put them up like this. Pull your flaps up, and you're going to tape the flaps up. You're going to tape around there and make the flaps kind of envelop around this styrofoam. So what I do is I take my tape, find the end, and I'm going to just tape all my flaps together all around. And I'm going to make sure they're all up and secured. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. You're just kind of securing these right now. You're just making sure that they're up. And just going like this. If you want to go around a couple times, you can do that, but I'm just going to end it right here. Where's my scissors? I don't know, but ouch. I'm going to use my knife. Extend it there. Run your hand along it. Make sure it's nice and secure. Whoops. Bend up a little bit. That's okay. There we go. And then what I do here is so that, I don't know, I just like to do this. I'm going to put some tape up. I'm going to put some tape up here too, because I'm just going to put it around the edges. The edges there that are connecting these 2 together. You don't have to do that, but because there's going to be something over this to, you know, to keep it from getting any moisture or anything in it. So, but I just like doing it this way. And I'm actually going to put another piece around the top there where I just went. Just to secure it a little more. Keep it nice and tight down in there. Again, you need really good tape to do this because, like I said, some tapes with the styrofoam, they just don't want to stick to the styrofoam. I had that problem when I first started making these last year, and I was kind of frustrated because I couldn't get it to stick at first. But then I tried this tape, and it just really seemed good because it was the shifting tape. So then I'm going to run along that real good. Down there before I stab myself. And there's basically what your shelter will look like. So, but I'm not done with it, but let me just show you what it looks like. It's pretty big. I mean, they like them because they're nice and roomy inside and it keeps them warm. So, that's that part. I'll put that down there. The next part that you're going to do is, and what you need is, my husband also gets these from his work. I'm going to set this up for a second so I can show you this. This is an insert called a bladder of an airbag that they use in shipping when they put freight inside of a truck to keep it, I guess, from moving around or whatever. They fill those bags with the air, and then it just kind of acts like just like when you get shipping, like a package shipped to you from Amazon or somewhere. They put those little pillow thingies in there. Well, these are big, huge ones. So he takes the plastic out of those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my box inside of this and kind of put it in here and wrap it in, cut it to however I need it to. And you'll see when I'm done, that's going to be all nice and wrapped. And I'm going to tape it kind of up inside there and everything so that it stays nice and wrapped, so that when it rains, it doesn't get ruined, because this is going to be out in the elements. We have one that is not, and then the other one is beside our house, like in between a bush and the side of our entryway and at the side of our carport. This one's going to go on the other side of the house, because I'm hoping that Shadow actually goes in this one, because she doesn't like the males. She doesn't like the dealing with the males because they're so aggressive, and she likes to kind of go on her own. So I'm hoping that she uses this one over there on the other side of the house, because that way it'll keep her a little bit separated. So I'm going to end this one for now, and I'm going to do this plastic, and that will be my last part of this kind of little video series. And hopefully you'll be able to see what it looks like, and it'll be all done, and I'll show you, because I staple it too. I like kind of staple it in there around the edges and stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like after I'm all done. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, third part of this video. Apparently this, if I'm correct, is not going to be 3 separate videos, but one whole video that's like cut into 3 parts. I don't know. I hit stop record and record each time, and I think what it did was record just one long video, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so who knows? We'll see, I guess, when I try to upload it. But anyway, okay, I did what I told you I was going to do. I took the plastic, I took the whole box, I slipped it inside that big bladder. It's a weird word, but that big lining of that bag, that airbag that my husband brought home, and I tightened it around here by pulling on it. I got it back. I put it in and just like shimmied it so that it would tight in the corner as much as I could get it, and then pulled the excess around to the side and then stapled it in a few different places, and then I taped it along a few spots to secure that. And then in the front here, I took the excess, I cut it down. There was like a lot of extra, like I guess maybe like 2 feet extra of bag. So I cut that down just enough so that it would wrap around in the inside opening, and then I taped it up around in there. And that's kind of tricky because you got to make sure that it's not, when you tape that, because you can't see in there around the edges once you have this all put together. So you just got to feel the best you can and kind of see the best you can with your fingers and your hand, to see that there's no tape sticking up that will catch on their fur or anything. But this is the finished product, and if you're going for aesthetics, you're not, you're missing the goal. This is not pretty, because you can see I had to tape it in different areas and stuff to make it you know, kind of adhere to, you know, what am I trying to say? To make it tight against here so that the weather won't get into it or anything. But my goal was to make a nice warm shelter for the cat. So that's what I did. And I will sit this one, again, this is 34 inches long, so it's a nice little shelter. I will sit this beside our house on the other side. It's kind of like underneath our master bedroom window, kind of back between there. And this one will hopefully be occupied by one of the other cats. There's 3 that come here, that come here on a daily basis. So I will fill this with straw. You know, you don't want to make it so full that they can't move around in it, but you want to put enough in there so that they can kind of make a little nest and bed down in there. You wouldn't, I guess, have to put straw in, but I do to make it extra, you know, I guess, you know, extra comfortable for them so that they can kind of nest down in and kind of feel secure, more secure. So that's how I make these, and hopefully I've inspired maybe a few people to kind of join in and help the ferals. They can't help it. They, you know, they didn't ask for that life. You know, that they were given that life, not by choice. I'm sure if they had their way, they would have been born into a nice family home and had their own house to live in. But we do what we can. And, you know, if you help in any way you can, it's, you know, you're helping an animal that needs your help. And so I hope you enjoyed these videos, or this video, however it uploads. I don't know. I'm really stupid when it comes to things like that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that maybe it inspired you to help the ferals in your area. So thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.